golden retriever pup in Ghana, and I love Betty so much, and so much so that I didn't used to eat, and we used to feed Betty to the point where Betty's stomach would drag on the ground. And I guess there's something that SPCA would be quite interested in looking at, if only we're in the West. I love Betty a lot. In short, I used to run home, yell at Betty, and Betty would come, fat stomach, come into my arms, and Betty was really my first love. Then came a day where I was going to go out with some friends and I had a bad feeling, like I had to hide Betty. So I decided to put Betty in a box and put her in my room. When I came back, there was no Betty. Where had Betty gone? Well, my evil godmother of a mother, I must say, had sold Betty to a carpenter or a mason without at all considering how I feel about things. That was my first true heartbreak, and I was very upset to lose Betty. And then, to make things worse, somehow I heard that Betty had been eaten, because alright, people do eat dogs. That's always stuck with me anyway. I miss my Betty, and even, I guess, decades on now, I was probably about 10, I'll never forget Betty. I've been unable to have another dog since, though I've also had some cats. Me and Simone used to have, always adopt kittens, I like to rear kittens into adulthood, and our kittens always had names that started with Z, Zaza, Zebra, Zodiac, and then came Subway, I think, or something like that. Yeah, one that didn't have a Z. That aside, I'm probably quite friendly to many things. I haven't kept many things as pets, but yeah, trees are probably, I could keep a tree for a pet. And yeah, obviously a human pet. I'm a human pet. Okay. If oral sex is goddess worship, anal sex would be devil worshipping. If oral sex is goddess worship, then anal sex would be devil worshipping. Next question. Over here, overly there, between? Not quite. That's good. Over here, overly there, overtly everywhere. Red omelette and... That reminds me. I brought some lunch with me today. There we go. It's indeed red omelette and blue rice. This is something I created a bit earlier. So we have our red omelette right there, and blue rice, funky. So I'm planning to do this kooky cooking show soon. It's basically food colouring and split personalities, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah. After my red omelette, generally, I like to wash it down with some du vin. I personally prefer to smoke green pasta, but I haven't had any green pasta for a while. I'm going to show you a special recipe for du vin. Here's how you make it. First you tip some du vin into a cup. Then you actually put it in the microwave for 1 minute. After that, generally you get instant sachet, preferably something sour instant sachet. You tip this sour instant sachet in. This is what I tend to do. Shake. So I didn't used to like it, and I kind of don't, but the taste of wine, I'm surprised. I actually acquired a taste for wine. And then you drink. However, sometimes you don't always have instant sachet, so you have honey. And Get the honey. Get about, probably, I actually take quite a few, probably 3 tablespoons worth. Shake, 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 shake. And that would probably be melted now because it'll be so hot in there. And that's my crazy how I like my red wine. Red wine. After my red omelette and blue rice and my red wine, I like to have a bit of dessert. And nothing is better than banana custard. Baby food. Oh, baby Esther. On we go. Let's have a look. A lovely little taste. Banana custard. Truly scrumptious. You too are truly scrumptious. Scrumptious as a cherry peach parfait. When you're near me, you're so delicious. Honest, truly, you're the answer to my wishes. And truly scrumptious indeed. You are truly scrumptious. Banana custard. Now, what's next? Pick the time, where should we go? Goat milk? Well, the graveyard actually. There's something about being in a graveyard which is awfully philosophical. Oh no, not crabs. Get away from me. Oh, crazy. Itching down there. And it's something about a graveyard. I've gone to a graveyard more often for picnics and allows me to reflect on our mortality, our microcosm within the greater macrocosm, so to speak. Graveyard? Well, the park would do, as long as we can have our red omelette, blue rice, duvet, and truly scrumptious. Goat milk? Well, that's my favourite actually. Goat milk indeed. I do really like goat milk. In what ways are you fundamentally similar to your brothers and sisters? In what ways are you different? Well, I'm similar to my brothers rather, there's 2 of them, more so in regards to my skin's complexion and my last family name. We were known as the 3 Musketeers as kids. But I've always been made to feel like an outsider by my family, so to speak, just because I was different, wanted to think for myself. Or alternatively, want to follow my heart and conscience. I'm fundamentally different from Kay, my little brother, because he's pretty much obsessed with money and monetary gain. That's all he thinks about. His conscience and heart are thus subordinate, if you may, to his business and his business senses. And I mean, this guy would probably sell me Panadol if I had a headache. I'm similar to him in ways in which we're both kind of, apparently quite intellectual, intelligent young men. I'm different to those 2. I'm a little bit shorter. I'm a little shit and pony. And I'm different to Papa, who's my second brother, in regards to, well, I just like to be more philosophical, and I like to be more introspective, and I like to reflect a little bit more. Simple as that. I'm always thinking about the next best alternative, or a relative truth, as opposed to the ignorance that is what one thinks is absolute truth. So I'm the least likely of all to say something in a room full of ignorant people, if you want to put it that way. But I'm always the one who, let's face it, who comes up with ingenious ideas, because I'm a genius. Okay. What is the most interesting teenage hairstyle you've ever worn out? What's interesting, during my teenagehood I used to